Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be talking about the time when my ex-girlfriend and I basically did an impromptu investigation of a local graveyard and what followed as a result of that. Now I will mention straight off the bat, don't expect a Hollywood story with priests and exorcisms. The activity didn't result in anything bad, however I'm posting it because it gives people a taste of just the sort of thing that can happen when messing about with the unknown. So this all happened roughly around the summer of 2012. My girlfriend and I had had various paranormal experiences over the years, but neither of us had any experience when it came to um, holding any form of investigations. Now, this one particular week, she decided that she wanted to go to a local graveyard, um, which I was quite opposed to because I know it's easily possible to bring in things that you really don't want in your house. So I tried to talk her out of it. By the time the weekend came, I had no luck. She was going to go whatever it took. So trying to be a decent boyfriend, I went with her. Because bear in mind, this is the early hours of Saturday morning. There are nightclubs open, there are pubs open, etc. So there's many forms of trouble that can be waiting for us. So we walked to the graveyard, which is only probably about a 10-minute walk away from my house. We walked around for about 2 hours in total. We didn't really have much in the way of equipment, just cell phones really. So after 2 hours had passed, we decided to call it a night because as far as we could tell, we hadn't caught anything reference EVPs. We haven't managed to catch anything in regards to catching something on a photograph. So we start walking home. As I'm walking home, I keep getting this feeling, the familiar cobweb feeling that people tend to report, and I kind of brushed it off because there's a couple of trees in the area, plus it's the summer, there's going to be plenty of bugs around. And the other thing that I noticed, I get this occasional feeling like someone was jabbing me with a pin. So we get home, I didn't really think anything of it, and the night just basically went on as normal. So the next morning we get up at the same time. I get myself dressed, she's still not dressed, she's still in bed. And we're just talking about the night before, talking about various experiences that we both had. And I'm sat on the left hand side of the bed, and from my vantage point, all of a sudden, I see a little bit of movement. So I look in the direction of it, and it turns out to be the door handle. The door handle has started coming down at this kind of speed. And all of a sudden you hear the latch on the door. She bolts under the covers thinking someone's coming in, and she's not dressed, so of course, and I'm just watching to see who it is. So eventually the handle gets all the way to the bottom, the door slowly starts to open, gets to the point where it's not fully open, but it's open far enough that I can see that there's no one on the other side of it. So she asked me who it is, and of course I can only say there's no one there. So she's looking horrified, meanwhile I'm sat there grinning like a Cheshire cat, because to me this is absolutely amazing. We both just sat there in silence for a couple of minutes wondering what the hell could have happened, because there's nothing wrong with that door. To this day the door is fine. When it's closed. It doesn't suddenly pop open. And interestingly enough, when the door did open, the handle didn't just spring back up, it went up slowly as well, as if there was a hand controlling it, bringing it back up quietly. The thing with the door opening after that became quite a common thing for around 6 months, until finally it just stopped, and each time that it did it, it happened with the same kind of characteristics. It would just happen at random times. So around 35 minutes after the incident with the door, I'd just been to a local shop and we'd bought some of those Rustler's microwavable burgers that you get in the buns. So I'd taken them out of the packets and I'd placed each one of them on a small plate, put them in the microwave, supposed to be in for 90 seconds. During that time my girlfriend comes down the stairs, we're still talking about the door incident, and while these things are cooking, the 90 seconds is coming to an end. So I've peeked in through the door of the microwave and I can see that these burgers aren't side by side anymore. They're actually stacked, and it's in the center of the microwave. The order goes plate, burger still in its bun, burger still in its bun, and everything's placed in such a central way, it almost looks too perfect. And the best part about it was, I made sure when I put those things in that they weren't touching the sides of the microwave, they also weren't touching each other, yet somehow they've ended up going from this to this. And I showed my girlfriend that, and she had actually seen me put them in, so she knew that I didn't put them in that way. The other thing to note that had a tendency to happen around the time that this was going on is that things would go missing for no apparent reason and just turn up in unexplainable circumstances. For example, when we went out on the night that we did this investigation, we got 2 cigarette lighters with us. We only needed one, so just before we left the house, I basically opened the door to my room and threw a yellow clipper lighter pretty much into the middle of my bed, so I could see it just before I closed the door. I was the last person in there. So we get back from doing this investigation and can't find the lighter anywhere. I saw exactly where it landed, no one had been up there, so we couldn't explain where it went and why. A few months later, out of nowhere, we'd gone out somewhere, and we come back and we found the lighter pretty much up by the pillows on the bed. Now bear in mind, the bedding had been changed several times in this period, so there was no real explanation as to why there should be a lighter just turn up out of nowhere. I suppose to sum up though, these events weren't particularly scary, and I don't think there was any negativity, any intent to taunt us. I think overall, the only reason why the spirit followed us and why it was doing the things that it did was because we turned up to the graveyard unannounced and we were looking for things that we probably shouldn't have been looking for, and the spirit was basically there saying, look, you came out looking for me and here I am, and this is what I can do and I exist, so take notice of it. That was the overall feeling that I got from it.